शाखान्वितांश्च श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Paramansa Paribhajaracharya Sakare Smama Vitam Saraswati Swami Bhagavati Jaya Nanda Kori Vaishnava Ki Jaya Ramacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jaya Name Sutta Ho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakti Jaya Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kanda Radha Kanda Jaya Ki Jaya Vrindavan Dham Ki Jaya Navadvip Dham Ki Jaya Ganga Maya Ki Jaya Jamuna Maya Ki Jaya Guru Dwarka Dham Ki Jaya Swami Bhaktivinoda Ki Jaya All glory to the All glory to the Thank you very much.
Krishna Gurudev, my humble obeisances. Crucial. Hare Krishna. Yes, Gurudev, can hear you.
All right, you see me?
Yeah, put the screen on the rest on the screen, please. Now we can start.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayana Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayam Udiraye.
Sachu Dadanudyaret.
Master Prayeshu Abhadreshu.
Master Prayesha Bhadresu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavat Yuttama Shloke.
Bhagavate Uttama Sloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhakti Bhavaistanaistiki.
Idam Bhagavatam Nama.
Idam Bhagavatam Snama.
Purana Brahma Samitam.
Raj Brahma Savasvavitam.
Uttama Shloka Charitam.
Putanas Sabatam.
Chakata Bhagavan Rishi.
Shikata Bhagavatam Snase.
Nishreyasaya Lokasya. Danyam Swastaya Namahat. It means it's completely auspicious for everybody. Srimad Bhagavatam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Namo Mahavadhanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gaura Trishe Namaha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagat Pate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste. Text number 40, chapter 15, first canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. Vishrija
Vrisrija.
Tatra
Tatra.
Tat
Tat.
Sarvam
Savam.
Dukula
Dukula.
Balayadikam
Palayadikam.
Nirmamo
Nemamo.
Nirahankara
Nirahankara.
Sanchina Sesha
Sachina Sesha.
Bandana
Bandana.
Vishrija Tatra Tatsarvam
Visrija Tatra Tatsavam.
Dukula Balayadikam
Dukula Falayadikam.
Nirmamo Nirahankara
Nemamo Nirahankara.
Sanchina Sesha Bandana
Sachina Sesha Badana.
Vishrija Tatra Tatsarvam
Visrija Tatra Tatsavam.
Dukula Balayadikam
Dukula Falayadikam.
Nirmamo Nirahankara
Nemamo Nirahankara.
Sanchina Sesha Bandana.
Sachina Sesha Bandana.
Okay, anyone else?
Visrija Tatra Tatsavam.
Vishrija Tatra Tatsarvam
Dukula Falayadikam.
Dukula Badayadikam
Nemamo Nirahankara.
Nirmamo Nirahankara
Sanchina Sesha Bandana.
Sanchina
Sesha
Bandana.
Bandana.
Anyone?
Let me unmute them.
Okay, Vishrija
Visrija.
relinquishing.
Relinquishing.
Tatra,
Tatra.
all those.
All those.
Tat,
That.
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 Sarvam,
Savam.
everything.
Everything.
Dukula,
Dukula.
belt.
Belt.
Valaya Adikam,
Valaya Adikam.
and bangles.
and bangles.
Nirmama,
Nirmama,
uninterested.
uninterested.
Nirahankara,
Nirahankara,
unattached.
unattached.
Sanchina,
Sanchina,
perfectly cut off.
perfectly cut off.
Asesha bandhana,
Asesha bandhana,
unlimited attachment.
unlimited attachment.
Okay, who would like to read the purport or the translation?
I should read?
Yeah, somebody.
Okay. Translation. Maharaj Yudhishthira at once relinquished all his garments, belt, and ornaments of the royal order and became completely disinterested and unattached to everything. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. To become purified of material contamination is the necessary qualification for becoming one of the associates of the Lord. No one can become an associate of the Lord or can go back to Godhead without such purification. Maharaj Yudhishthira, therefore, to become spiritually pure, at once gave up his royal opulence, relinquishing his royal dress and garments. The kasaya or saffron loincloths of his sannyasi indicate freedom from all attractive material garments, and thus he changed his dress accordingly. He became disinterested in the kingdom and family, and thus became free from all material contamination or material designation. People are generally attached to various kinds of these designations. The designations of family, society, country, occupation, wealth, position, and many others. As long as one is attached to such designations, he is considered materially impure. The so-called leaders of men in the modern age are attached by national consciousness, but they do not know that such false consciousness is also another designation of the materially conditioned soul. One has to relinquish such designations before one can become eligible to go back to Godhead. Foolish people adore such men who die in the national consciousness. But here is an example of Maharaj Yudhishthira, a royal king who prepared himself to leave this world without such national consciousness. And yet he is remembered even today because he was a great pious king, almost on the same level with the personality of Godhead Sri Rama. And because people of the world were dominated by such pious kings, they were happy in all respects, and it was quite possible for such great emperors to rule the world. End of paper.
Got it. Okay. There's a very important words in this sloka. Nirmama nirahankaro. Right? Uninterested. Nothing is mine. Literally, it means nothing is mine. And nirahankara. Unattached. That literally usually means not in ahankara. Ahankara means I'm thinking I'm this body. I'm whatever I think the body is. I'm, most people it's their color, or their size. I'm fat, I'm skinny, I'm beautiful, I'm ugly. Dualities. So I just, you can search those two words and you'll find them in so many slokas. If you, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, 671, that's right at the end. Vihaya kaman yat sarvam pumam charati nishpriha nirmamo nirahankara sasantim arigachati. Person who's given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desire, and who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he can attain real peace. That's what nirmama means. And it's described, Krishna describes Maya. People in Maya, they always talk nonsense. And that nonsense begins with it is I and it is mine. Mamaham, mamoham. It is I, it is mine. So I'll just, I'm going to click through a few more places just to give you some idea. But chapter 12, there's many verses, starting from 13. Advaita sarva bhutanam maitre karane vicha nirmamo nirahamkara samaduka sukha shami. One who is not envious but is kind to everyone, who does not think himself a proprietor, and who is free from false ego. Just want to see how many times that is there. All right? Be very fast at finding verses on this online database. And Germany has good internet. Then you go to Bhagavatam, the verse we're on, that's there. 11th canto, chapter 2, verse 43. Vihaya kamanyat sarvan pumans charati nishpriha nirmamo nirahankara sasantim arigachati. Person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship, and who is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace. Then it's quoted, of course, in many, many places. Nirmama nirahankara. So nothing is mine, but we have things, and we have to think this is mine, but not really. It's not ultimately mine. Like if you're renting a house, renting your car, you can say this is my house, but it's not your house, right? You're just able to use it because you're paying the rent. But you can say it's yours, but ultimately it's not yours. Ultimately, it's not belonging to the landlord either. Ultimately, it belongs to Krishna. So that's what real renunciation means. We're reading about Maharaj Pariksit. Now, even before he actually gave up everything, because he knew he was going to die, he gave up the title of a king. He was never thinking I'm the king. He was thinking I'm the servant of Krishna. He's never thinking this is my kingdom. Everything is mine. He's thinking everything belongs to Krishna. But Krishna's given it to me, so out of duty, we'll work on it. And we got, of course, there's the same idea, many other verses. In chapter 15, text 5.
Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita.
And we often are asked, how can we surrender to Krishna? What does it mean to surrender? Because the basic idea we have of surrender is its weakness. When you're defeated, and that is what it means when you realize I'm not the controller and Krishna is. No matter what I think, Krishna is always the controller. So Prabhupada gives in the purport to this verse that this is the surrendering process. But it starts out nirmama, nirmana, moha, chitta sangha dosha. Words are a little bit different, but those who are free from false prestige, false association, done with material loves, freed from dualities of happiness and distress. I and mine, nirmamo, nirahamkara, mamoham. So anyway, that's the whole idea. How do we get free from possessiveness? Not that you give up everything and become a madman when you're naked and nobody knows where you are because you're just moving constantly. I heard you, we have those in every country. I've seen a few there in Ghana. And that one doctor, what was his name? Abdullah. His wife was, started doing the free food for the madmen. And he said it's very difficult because nobody never knows where they are. They don't feel like this is my place or anything. They're just moving constantly. So she would just have to drive around and find them. But then I guess gradually they learned she was coming and they would be available. So this is a surrendering process, free from false prestige. Same thing Lord Chaitanya is saying. Chinadapi sunichena tarorapi sishna amani na manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Offering all respect to others and not expecting anything in return. Free from false prestige, not proud of anything. No, and but the real thing is, like kings, there's kings, if they're rich men even now, that are very devotees, and they have big families, they have big businesses, employees, connections, government power, but they don't think this is mine. They think this is all Krishna's, but he's given it me to take care of it. And that's how devotees think, This is not mine. It's not my temple. We might think that way, but it's Krishna's. Everything belongs to Krishna. It's not my wife. Most householders I know, they say, oh, it's my wife. It's a sign of possessiveness. I'm the controller. Now, someone might say that in a renounced way also. But it's better to think of it some other way. I've heard the Africans say, my Mataji. Mataji means your mother, so it's not the way your wife is not your mother. So Maharaj Pariksit it's a wonderful story, but he was a devotee from before he was born, because Krishna rescued him in the womb, and he saw Krishna, and he was totally fascinated. And his whole life, he was just looking for Krishna. Pariksit means inquirer or searching. And he knew Krishna. And so even though he was the emperor of the world and had unlimited power and influence, nobody since then has ever had such power and influence over the whole planet. Even his enemies would come and bow down and pay their taxes, because he was so powerful. But he was so good, provided for everybody, he treated everybody equally. But when he knew he was going to die, rather than go madly trying to not die, He just gave up everything. And prepared to get a better life in the next life. And this is what we should all be doing. We don't have maybe the notice, okay, in 1 week you will be executed, or maximum 6 months, the cancer is going to devour your body or something. We don't know for sure. But we should know one thing for sure. We are going to die. 2 things. We're definitely going to have to leave this body, and we don't know when. We're actually leaving it constantly. So Bricket is an example. Yudhishthira was previous to him also example. As soon as he heard that Krishna left the planet, he didn't even think about it. He didn't talk about it with his brothers or ministers. He just gave up being the king and left. You know, went to leave his body in a sacred place. So this is Yudhishthira here. Just gave it all up. Bricket gave it all up. And many kings, most of the Vedic kings, their goal was to give it up. You know, to have his son qualified to take over the kingdom so they could dedicate their time. So Yudhishthira, he was the king, but he didn't live an opulent royal life. He ran the kingdom perfectly. They said his opulence was such that even the demigods were bewildered to see such amazing opulence. They had not seen such opulence before. And the demigod's opulence compared to anything we have here on earth is inconceivable. He gave up everything. He didn't talk to anybody. He just gave it up. So we're supposed to be practicing for that. So we at least start out, we give up the gross sinful activities. You know, maybe we live a more simple life. Sometimes we live in an ashram and depend just on, you know, whatever comes, not having so many of our own possessions. We don't need very much just to live, but none of these things are permanent. Everybody knows you can't take it with you. The Yudhishthira basically was already renounced. They said he slept on the floor in the cow barn, and he ate almost nothing, barley or something, soaked in cow urine. You know, he wasn't trying to enjoy the opulent life of the king. He was just making sure that everyone in the kingdom was living nicely. That's how we get purified. So let's see, comment. We have a lot of devotees here, a lot of people. So I think we should open up for some discussion.
Thank you, Gurudev, for your class. I have one question in the Bhagavad Gita of 15:5.
Yeah.
In the purport, when Prabhupada talk about pride, the way to give up pride, the first line of surrender. Talk about the first qualification is that one should not be deluded by pride. Because the conditioned soul is puffed up, thinking himself the Lord of material nature. It is very difficult for him to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should know by the cultivation of real knowledge that he is not Lord of material nature. So my question is, normally when someone joins devotional service, what is the process of giving up this pride?
What's that?
When one joins devotional service, a new bhakta, because we have so many new devotees here, how can they give up this pride of possessiveness, of false ego?
Well, it's one thing is just by practicing devotional service, by identifying himself as a devotee, then, but it's okay to be proud in that way. It's not, we're talking about false pride that my body is very great and my tribe is the best and, my father is the richest man or, my whatever, like that kind of pride, that's false pride. But we automatically giving up so much just by taking to devotional service. So we give up this identification with the body, identify himself as a servant of Krishna, and we can be proud that somehow we're allowed to, but we shouldn't get puffed up about it, but that, we've been so fortunate to enter into such an amazing disciplic succession. It's just mind-boggling. So pride is, I think everybody knows the Bible, right? About pride. Right?
Dev?
Well, the Bhagavad Gita also says Dambo, Darpa, Bhimanina. These are qualities of the demon, is his pride. I'm better than everyone else. Everyone else is inferior. Then if we become proud of, even if we have something, then we start to criticize others, and then we'll fall down.
Okay.
So that mentioned as demoniac quality a few times. Self-complacent, pride, there's a lot of different words that are used again and again.
So anybody has question, kindly raise your hand up or you write it on the chat room. Right. Next question is, if Maharaj Yudhishthira gives us all opulences, does it mean that material opulence must not be possessed to be a devotee of Krishna? It's for Facebook.
Material opulence was not what?
Does it mean it's not required for one to be a devotee of Krishna, or one who has it, what must give it up before he becomes a devotee?
No, if you have it, you use it for Krishna. If he gave it to you. If you don't have it, it doesn't matter. You just, whatever we have, we use it for Krishna. One has to give up the idea this is mine. Because it's by your karma, you may have material opulence, and no matter what you do, it's gonna have it. Some people just have it, money or fame, but they have to understand this is a gift from Krishna. It's not mine. I didn't create it. Somehow Krishna has given it to me, and I have to try to how I can use it for Krishna.
In the Bhagavatam, we put on the verse where Krishna talks also about pride. 10th canto, 10:25-6, the translation. To the cloud of destruction, King Indra said, the prosperity of these people has made them mad with pride, and the arrogance is backed up by Krishna. And go and remove their pride and bring their animals to destruction.
Right.
It is clear from this verse that the residents of Vrindavan have become highly prosperous simply by protecting cows. since Indra wanted to destroy their so-called pride based on wealth by killing the animals, well-intended cows produced large quantities of milk from which. So the issue is that, but the people of Vrindavan, they are also devotees of Krishna. But Indra
Yeah,
became...
well, they weren't proud. Indra is envious, and he's saying they're proud.
Yes, Indra became envious of their opulence and went to thinking that they are proud.
Indra is saying they're proud, but Indra was envious. He was angry because they didn't worship him. He was the one that's pride, and he thought everybody should be worshiping him. And he thought he thought they're proud, and they're not worshiping me. They're thinking they don't need me, they're stupid. So that's a different kind of pride.
Somebody has a question on the chat room. Please, my question is, can a woman also be a pure devotee as I desire so much? I have been practicing all the learn from Master Ganashakshu, but I read all Bhagavad Gita, but it mostly talk about men devotee. Please, Angela.
Well, it also has Mother Yasoda and Radharani, right?
Yes.
Women, the pure devotee has nothing to do with the body. You're not the body. We're just in the body for the time being. So women in many ways have a better chance because they're usually not so ambitious to be big shots like men are. And the women would just be more likely. So we'll see all over the world in most religious functions, there's more women. But definitely, if you think you're a woman, then you might be in trouble, but you have to think I'm a devotee of Krishna. So Prabhupada didn't make any distinction. He engaged everybody in Krishna's service. All right?
Yes, Gurudev.
Yes, for sure. Now, because most of you come from Christian background, I think, maybe Muslim, but the Bible, I just looked up, 10 main verses about pride. It says in the Bible, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. God says, in Psalm 75:4, I say to the boastful, do not boast, and to the wicked, do not lift up your horn. These are very nice things. I don't know if they teach those when you go to the church, they're usually just telling you you're going to get rich or something. But it's actually all about developing character. Jeremiah 9:23 and 24. Let only the wise man boast of his wisdom. Let not the mighty man boast of his might. Let not the rich man boast of his riches. And let him who boasts old language. John 2:16. For all that is in this world, the desires of the flesh and the desires of the eyes and the pride of life is not from the Father, but from this world. So anyway, there's many, many things, and the Bhagavad Gita, it's also there many times. And then there's the famous one, you know, that, well, I always learned it, pride before the fall. That's not exactly what it says, but from a haughty spirit, one will definitely fall. And pride means disaster will come. So that's, but it's false pride. Proverbs 15, the Lord tears down the house of the proud, but maintains the widow's boundaries. Pretty powerful stuff. All right, so we have more questions.
Find out. No hand is up.
Well, we'll just wait a second. And here's the famous verse. This is Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So we have to become humble. Lord Chaitanya says, you know, chant in a humble state of mind. Humble doesn't mean I'm no good, I'm, you know, not this, what they call now, low self-esteem. No, I'm no good, I'm poor, I'm stupid, I'm this, I can't do that. No, it means Krishna is very great and I'm smaller than Krishna. So I will serve Krishna.
The question she asked about if a woman can also become a pure devotee. This is 7 cantos Bhagavatam. Although I took birth as a Sudra from the womb of a maidservant, I engaged in the service of Vaishnavas who were well versed in the Vedic knowledge. Consequently, in this life, I got the opportunity to take birth as a son of a Brahma. But in the purports, Prabhupada mentioned that was son of Preta, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishya merchants, as well as Sudras workers, can approach the supreme destination. It doesn't matter whether a person is born as a Sudra, a woman, or a Vaishya, business person. If he or she associates with devotees repeatedly or always, sadhu sangha, he can be elevated to the highest perfection. Narada Muni is explaining this in relation to his own life. The Sankirtan movement is important for regardless of whether one is a Sudra, Vaishya, merchant, Yavana, or whatever. If one associates with a pure devotee, follows his instruction and serves the pure devotee, his life is successful. Bhakti Anukuliyena Krishna Silana. Bhakti consists of serving Krishna and his devotees very favorably. Ayabila Sita Suyam. If one has no desire other than to serve Krishna and his devotee, then his life is successful. So I think the answer is on this 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam.
It's in many places, but Prabhupada basically in the purport is just referring to the Bhagavad Gita, Striyo Vaishyas Tata Sudras Tepimam. That's the end of chapter 9. Striyo Vaishyas, that same thing. Whether one is a Vaishya, Sudra, woman, doesn't matter. And Prabhupada definitely was really strong on that. And unfortunately, there's many men in our movement that haven't understood, but he didn't discriminate at all. And he said even in one class, you know, that people are in the Vedas, there's all these restrictions. A woman can't do this, a woman can't do that. But he said, Krishna said, and then he just really strong. Krishna didn't discriminate. Our philosophy is you're not the body. You know, we're not that body, so we can't be so worried about, right?
Yes.
So don't worry, you're a spirit soul. Krishna sees you as, of course, compared to Krishna, we're all women, and we're all completely dependent on Krishna. And when we become submissive to him as the master, then everything goes very good. Pure devotee doesn't mean you have some particular designation that you're the president or you're the, the head this or chief. It doesn't mean that for anybody. Pure devotee means you don't have any reason to live except to please Krishna. No material motivation. For second verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam says, Dharma projita kaitavotra nirmat saranam satam. The Bhagavatam rejects all religion which is materially motivated. It doesn't reject a particular religion, like it doesn't say this, this is good, this one's bad. It's the motivation. Why are you doing this? If someone is doing some yajna or charity or whatever they're doing, just to get famous, just to get rich or whatever, then that's rejected by Krishna. It's not nice. The real thing, just to please Krishna. So whatever you have, you don't have to give it up. You have to give up the attachment, give up the false identification. Maya begins, here's a verse. Village, this is 2:5:13. Villajamana maya yasya statum iksya pate nuya vimohita vikantante mamaham iti durdayaha. Mamaham. The illusory energy of the Lord cannot take precedence. Being ashamed of her position, but those who are bewildered by Maya always talk nonsense, beginning absorbed in thoughts of it is I and it is mine. That's what we have to give up. I'm not this body, and the things in relation to this body are not mine. They belong to Krishna. But it doesn't mean we just abandon responsibility for our families or our work or whatever. But we know that it's Krishna's. He gave it to me, so I do it for Krishna's pleasure. And this is stated again and again throughout chapter 18. Whatever you're doing, you do it for Krishna. Whatever you have, you use it for Krishna. So if people have money, they can make big festivals. They can build temples. If you have talent, you can sing for Krishna, you can paint for Krishna. If you have a strong body, you can help work, whatever. Whatever you have, you just offer it to Krishna. Krishna is not impressed by, you could be, I don't know, who's that richest guy in Africa now?
Dangote.
Huh?
Dangote.
Don Quixote, huh?
Dangote, yes.
Everybody knows Don Quixote?
Everybody knows Dangote from Nigeria.
No, I mean Don Quixote, you know him?
I don't know him.
He was a knight, he went around fighting against windmills or something. But anyway, Krishna's not impressed. Compared to Krishna, that's nothing. He just got a nothing, But it looks big to us. But if he doesn't use it for Krishna, at the time of death, he gets the same size grave as everyone else. Right?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
And who knows where he's going? And any of these people, the world famous ones now, this guy who made the electric car, suddenly he's the richest man in the world. And his goal in life is to go to Mars. And he thinks that if you blow atomic bombs on Mars, you can make it a place where people can live. Pretty crazy. He doesn't believe in God. But somehow they get money and they get more proud, because when you have money in Kali Yuga, everybody bows down and everybody wants to know your opinion about everything,
We have a question. Another question on the chat room.
All right.
Agatha Manu said, please, can you share more light on Krishna? How do we pray to him to achieve our requests?
Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In a humble state of mind, I want to serve you, Krishna. That's perfect. It's consciousness. Nice name, Manu. Manu is the real king of the entire universe. There's many Manus as time goes on. That's where human comes from, the word Manu, Manusya. But we don't want to pray to Krishna for our request, give me money. The Hindus, when they pray to the demigods, they have mantras. Dhanam Dehi, Janam Dehi, Rupam Dehi. It means give me money, give me beauty, give me popularity, give me followers, give me. That is not pleasing to Krishna. Those things that we're going to get according to our karma. So we pray, just Krishna, let me serve you. Now, sometimes if we really surrender everything and we just want to serve Krishna, we may get much more than our normal karma would give us. But that's not what, in history, Jesus, he gave up everything, and all his followers gave up everything, right? St. Francis, he was a very rich boy. He gave up everything. Right in public, he took off all the rich opulent clothes his father gave him and just threw them down on the ground. And he wanted to be like Jesus. And he was naked, and the priest, came and gave him his shawl or something. And then he got in trouble because a lot of other rich boys joined him. And they gave up like really, really austere life. They just begging a little bit every day and using everything. So that's, example. Buddha also, he was a prince. He would have become the king, but he gave up everything. All right? So that's the thing. Don't be asking Krishna, make me beautiful, make me rich. Sometimes we think if I get rich, then I can serve Krishna. That doesn't always work. You may get rich or not, but whatever you have, you use it for Krishna. Many people that are rich, they have no intention to be rich, or famous. Charlie Boy, you all know him. He was from a very rich family, but he wasn't very interested in it. He moved to Lagos, and he said, he became very famous, but he just wanted to do his music. He didn't come with the idea, I wanted to get rich and famous. But somehow people liked his music and he became rich and famous. And then he just used it, unfortunately, not so much for Krishna. But that's the point. He wasn't trying to get rich. Many people like that, that wasn't never their intention. They're just trying to do something. Other people trying to get money, trying to get beautiful, trying to lose weight, they never do. You know, trying to get elected. Other people just become very popular, like all of a sudden, and they don't know what happened. This is karma. But serving Krishna is not due to our karma, it's our voluntary. It's according to our desires and our efforts. All right, thank you.
Yes, Gurudev.
Who's that spinning around there?
There's no other question on the chat room.
Nothing in the chat room. Does everybody know how to put their hands up?
Yeah, the hand is not up.
So how many, Gyanachakshus, are you still there?
Yes, Gurudev. Ganesh
Did
Chakshu,
you get all the Bhagavad Gitas you needed to fill your orders?
let me look where he is.
He was there in the beginning.
Yes, he was just here a few minutes ago.
Anyway, by his preaching, and his brilliant marketing, he had people lining up to buy Bhagavad Gitas at a very high price.
Okay, he's here. Ganesh Chakshu, unmute your mic.
But there was a shortage of Bhagavad Gitas. I wondered if he got them.
He's here, Gurudev.
Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance, Guru Maharaj. August Prabhupada.
Yeah, did you get the Bhagavad Gitas you need?
Come again, Guru Maharaj.
You said, you wanted to distribute so many Bhagavad Gitas, but they didn't have enough.
Yes, yeah, I still need like 500 guitars, but unfortunately we don't have at the moment.
Well, did you try Legos?
No, Guru Maharaj.
And Govardhan from Johannesburg said he would send them for you.
Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. I'm very grateful.
But you have to follow up on it.
Sure, I'll do so.
They have many in Johannesburg.
I have his email, so I'll mail him.
Yeah. Okay, so we hope, that, and then because Bhagavad Gita is, we can't glorify it enough, how valuable it is. So we can try and hope we can inspire people to read it, because it all the things everybody wants, all the questions we have, and the purification we need, everything will come just from regularly reading Bhagavad Gita. Regularly, even if it's just, 15 minutes a day. But most people still say they don't have time. They can read 5 newspapers, but no time for Bhagavad Gita. Right?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, it's true.
And most people don't really read the newspaper. They just look through it really quick, Charlie Boy would buy all the newspapers and just look through to see if there's any articles about him. And then throw them all out. And other people are looking for something. They just want to see if their team won the game, or if their person got, if their enemy got criticized or something, but much better to read the Bhagavad Gita. And nowadays we can listen also to Bhagavad Gita online, and so much facility is there. It's a word of God. It's Krishna. It's pure. It's handed down. It's never been changed. And with Prabhupada, we have the really popular purports.
We have a question, Gurudev, on the chat room from Devarishi, Kaduna Temple. Say, Hare Krishna, Gurudev, please, how will one know that his or her activities are being accepted by Krishna?
Well, ask the astrologer. He's supposed to know everything. Well, usually you can just feel it, you know. If it's making you feel good and want to do it more. If you're just trying to do it for Krishna, the results are not the important thing, but if we're trying to do it for Krishna, Krishna's accepting it. But we may not see, even if many Christians are saying, you know, God may not, why God is not answering my prayers right away. Well, he's trying to get you ready, you know, but it's not that he doesn't accept it. So if other devotees are pleased with what we're doing, Guru is pleased, you know, because that Krishna is represented in so many different ways. If you're asking people to chant and they chant, then obviously Krishna is accepting your efforts. All right.
Somebody asked on Facebook, if I am expecting Krishna to accept my activities, is it not material desire?
Where's that one?
From Facebook. I linked this on Facebook, our Facebook page.
Can you repeat it?
If one is expecting Krishna to accept his activities, is it not a desire, a material desire?
If it's, you know, if you want to please Krishna, that's not material. That's spiritual. It's not that, you know, it's not that there's no desire. We have to purify desire. Spiritual desire. Just like we don't say don't eat, but we say offer everything to Krishna and eat prasadam. You know. If you have desire is the nature of the soul. You can't separate the soul from desire, but we want to purify our desires. Even like when you have children, you have to teach them what to eat and what not to eat, and you know what to chew on and you know, you teach them. Parents try to teach their children, right? To have the right desires. They want to imbibe in them, you know, desires, and hopefully to build character and be good people. Nowadays, too many parents are just pushing their children how you got to make a lot of money, and then they're not happy with that always. Can never make enough anyway. But we want to desire to do things that are beneficial for ourselves and for society.
That's good, Dave. We have
Now I saw another one.
Yeah, two more questions. Emmanuel from
Bhagavad Gita from Ghana. I will be grateful. I will give it further insight how to read it effectively. Well, in a humble state of mind, open-minded, just, you know, let it flow. It's not to get knowledge exactly, it's to associate. By reading Bhagavad Gita, we're getting direct association with Krishna and with Srila Prabhupada, who's explaining it. So that's to read it like that, to just, you want to be with Krishna. And just, it's not that we can ever understand it. Bhagavad Gita, I've been reading for 50 years, and many things I've read over and over and over again, but they always come fresh because it's Krishna. It's not like it's something you just learn, you pass a test, and then you go on to another book. The test is that you just keep reading it and you try to apply it in your life. All right?
Kwasi said, how do we get appeased by the sun god? How can we pray to the sun? And in which position do we stand in posture?
You can pray to Krishna. There's the sun god, Viva Sun, or Surya, but there's also Surya Narayan. There's also Krishna in the sun. So you chant Hare Krishna. You don't have to pray separately to the sun god because he's a devotee of Krishna. So, but can pray to Surya Narayan by chanting Hare Krishna.
Emmanuel from Qatar said, now I believe in karma. How will I reduce the negative effects in my previous bad deeds?
Qatar. Well, by chanting Hare Krishna, by giving up bad deeds now. In the past may, affect us in different ways, but Krishna relieves us of the karma by giving up by taking up devotional service, offering your life to Krishna, and giving up the sinful activities. The past is gone. We can't change the past, but we can change the future by what we do now. We're always creating our own destiny. It's not like pre-written by Krishna and we're helpless. And we always have a choice. So that's why we need the guidance, we need teachers, whatever we're doing. And if we become a submissive, we can learn much more and much faster. In a submissive oral reception is the way Prabhupada said it. We're reading the Bhagavad Gita, hearing, and it's submissive. Okay, let me see what this says. Don't argue. The natural tendency in Kali Yuga is whatever we hear, we argue with it. But don't argue, just keep hearing. All right, anyone else want to say Kavicandra for you then? What's your version?
Yes, Kavi is here.
Can you say something on that?
No, Guru Maharaj, thank you very much. We are listening to you. Yes, Guru Maharaj, we are learning from you.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Give credit where credit is due, when you speak Bhagavad Gita, tell people this is from Bhagavad Gita.
Yes,
So
Guru
many
Maharaj.
people are speaking very wonderfully about karma yoga without using those words. But, and they're getting many followers and money, but they're not giving Krishna. They're not, many people they can understand, the world, understand the mind. They can learn how to manipulate people. But we want to, be controlled by Krishna, not by other people, not by our crazy minds. So by hearing from Krishna, we'll automatically get purified and act in such a way that Krishna is pleased. So if we just try to share the Bhagavad Gita with others, we try to share the Maha Mantra, or any knowledge we know about Krishna, even sometimes we can't really talk directly about Krishna, but we can talk about the environment, but properly, and the perils of lust, anger, and greed, and nobody can disagree with that. gradually then they'll get an audience, and then we can tell them where it's all coming from. So
Okay, we have two more questions.
the Bible says, knock and the door will open, seek and you shall find, and ask and you shall receive. So Krishna says, there's 3 gates leading to hell: lust, anger, and greed. So don't knock on those doors. Knock on the door to the Bhagavad Gita. Ask about Krishna, and then you'll get knowledge about Krishna. Ask about, what can I do? What can I do? What's a good thing to do? And look for Krishna, and look for the good in everybody. Krishna is in everyone's heart. So the more we look for the good in everybody, we'll find it. You look for Krishna, you'll find it. But maybe not instantly. Krishna can hide. Test our faith.
Good day. We have two more questions on the chat room. Isaac is asking, if one continues to dream about his old friends who are dead for a long time, what does it mean?
Having a party in the dream.
With his old friends who passed away a long time ago.
Well, I'm not a dream interpreter, but I would think it just means, you've heard stories like that, and you were thinking of your friends and hoping everything is all right with them, and you're trying to think that they're having a party. Dreams are just a collection of many things that we've experienced, and sometimes from previous lives even. So sometimes the dreams are really crazy, a bunch of things that don't make any sense.
We have another question.
Okay.
From Samuel Mena. Is every situation we go through our karmic reactions?
How can one pray to Venus? Well, we don't have to pray to Venus. You just pray to Krishna, you cover everything.
And before that, there's another one from Samuel. It's asking, is every situation?
Is every situation our karma? Yeah, we're put into certain situations due to our previous karma. In the case of, if someone is really surrendering to Krishna, Krishna may give us things separate. He may interfere actually and have things that are not only our previous karma, but generally we're put into certain situations because of our karma. But when we choose spiritual life, that's not karma. It's actually special mercy. That's not just a karmic reaction that someone has good karma so they can be a good devotee. Someone with really bad karma can suddenly somehow realize and surrender to Krishna and be a really good devotee. And many people with really good karma, and they're living luxuriously and popular and have a lot of money and healthy, they may think, who needs God? I don't need that. I'm happy. But they're in that situation because of previous activities, yes.
We have another question from Yeboah. People often say one's soul is dead. If you do not dream when you sleep, what also does it mean when you dream but do not remember? it when you wake up. Please, what can you say about this? People say soul is dead if you do not dream. What is English? Okay. He's saying people.
Well, scientists say, everybody dreams, but mostly we don't remember. But it's a dream, it's just a bunch of stuff, and usually we don't remember. We don't remember what we did when we were awake very much, in details. It's not important to remember those nighttime dreams and then their daytime dreams. And now people talk about build your dream, just keep planning how you're going to get rich, how you're going to be the best football player in the world or something. And keep dreaming, dreaming, dreaming. You might get there. But better we think, I'm going to be a good devotee. Whatever I do, I'm going to practice daily my spiritual life. Don't worry about your nighttime dreams. Okay, here's a practical question from Alice's iPad.
Yeboah is saying, I'm a vegetarian. My family are meat eaters. Can I have the privilege of having Prabhupada and Radha Krishna image in my house?
Yes, of course. Now, if your family might not like it, then don't display them and where they might get disturbed about it. Definitely, you can have those pictures. That's why Prabhupada put so many pictures in the books. He wanted everybody to have these pictures. I believe in nature and also in karma, but who commands? That's Krishna. It's Krishna's nature. Karma is our activities and the reaction to our activities. But that's controlled by time, ultimately by Krishna. Peter Kaffa. This is an interesting one. If I say this is my head, my eyes, and all my body is where is me? I'm confused. There's a Srila Prabhupada, long time ago, he went to a school. I think it was an elementary school. And he asked, he said, I want a very intelligent boy. And so they pointed to somebody. And then Prabhupada just pointed to his nose and said, what is this? And he said, that's my nose. And he pointed to his foot. He said, that's my foot. And he pointed to his arm. He said, that's my arm. And a few other places. And then Prabhupada said, and the boy was thinking, well, this is not, it doesn't require any intelligence, everybody knows. Then he said, well, who are you? Who is this I, my foot? Who is this person? And then he couldn't answer. That's the soul, that's you, the real you. You are not just a combination of skin and bones and hairs and, the life did not come from that. The life created those things. So you are the secondary proprietor. Ultimately, it's Krishna's, but for now, it's your head, your body. So you have to take care of it because it's really Krishna who gave it to you. So we take care of it. Some people will think, well, it's my body And it doesn't matter if I just drink and smoke and eat anything, because it's mine. I can do whatever I want. Or in America, the women are saying, it's my body, and if I want to abort the baby in it, it's none of your business. It's my body, but the baby's not your body. The baby is a separate person inside your body. But they think it's just my body, so no one can tell me what to do. But just like anything, if you have a car, you know, you get guidelines, what kind of fuel to put in it, you know, and how to drive it, how to take care of it, how to you know, maintain it, when to change the oil, when to do this, when to check that. And the driver, the body is like a machine, and you're the driver. You have to learn how to drive it nicely, take care of it, and drive it to the right destination. Okay? So you are the soul. You are the person. That's you. You are the conscious living entity. If you're talking to scientists, you don't want to say the soul because they'll say that's religious. But you say the conscious living entity, they will accept that. Conscious entity. That's you. In the body. You're the driver. So that's the most important thing. The body is secondary. The car is only important. You need a good driver so you can go somewhere. How is karma and reincarnation related? Yeah, reincarnation means the birth in the next birth. That's according to your consciousness at the time of death and the previous birth. And that consciousness is according to what you've done throughout that life, what kind of karma you developed, and what kind of desires you have, and then you get a body suitable for those desires. Direct relationship.
Some devotees are writing, they ask me, please, can you ask Guru Maharaj when he's coming to West Africa?
On the 21st of July.
21st of July to Ghana?
To Ghana, yeah.
I hope they have had you.
Kusha says don't go to Nigeria.
Yeah, Nigeria is not good now. No security. It's insecure. Just suggestion they should come to Ghana to see you in Ghana or Togo or Ivory Coast. For now, Nigeria is not good.
Yeah, we'll go to all those places.
Yes.
But first Ghana, Accra.
Then the books that were supposed to come to Lome, Togo,
Yeah.
I've written a Kenchana. If the books have arrived, he's yet to respond. I don't know yet.
Really, they were supposed to arrive so long ago. Anyway, because of this Kali Yuga, the shipping is really messed up now. Cargo things, the price has gone triple high and everything is delayed. And so I hope they've arrived because a lot of investment. And, you know, there's French and English and 200,000, 250,000 books. Small books, but valuable ones. Thank you for that information. I've been asking for months.
I will try to call him again this morning to know if it has really arrived.
All right, very good. All right, thank you. So many coming today.
Thank you, Gurudev. Please, we ask our devotees, kindly unmute yourselves and let's chant Hare Krishna to Guru Maharaj for coming.
That's Varaha. Can I ask a question?
Yes, Gurudev.
About Satchidananda, how can he not be allowed to leave the village? He's not in the hospital, he's not in the prison. You know, is somebody actually guarding him that he can't just leave to go to a proper hospital? Even though he owes money? I mean, it seems like.
Dandava Pranam Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Actually, that's what he said. But now that his situation has become worse, he said he's ready to go to the hospital. He was saying that they needed to pay his debt before he could leave the environment because they would think he was running away. But since yesterday, he called to say his situation has gotten worse and he has to go to the hospital urgently. So we have arranged for him to go to the hospital this morning, and we will take care of the expenses until whatever fund they have to send.
Yeah, I mean, the expense, I don't know what he got for such a huge expense. He didn't even get a diagnosis or anything, you know. Right? So, so I hope he can find a good doctor. I mean, there must be good doctors there somewhere.
He's going to the university teaching hospital this morning. He already called me and I've given a devotee to go with him.
Very good, thank you. Good news. Another question. I have a dream, like my friend told me, let's go to the river and catch fish. And I see the pendant on my neck. I see it. I don't know what pendant. Anyway, no need to go and catch fish. You might have to become some kind of a big fish in your next life, or an eagle bird that catches fish. And many different kinds of birds catch fish. You know. They're experts. They have those birds in Africa that catch the fish.
They have it.
They're really amazing. Nature is so amazing. There's one in India called the kingfisher. And it's got a long, sharp beak. And the bird just, all of a sudden, he just tucks his wings in and he just goes straight down. And he goes into the water, disappears, and comes up with the bird with the fish stuck on the beak, you know. And then he flies away with it and eats it. And then that eagle just goes. But they don't catch every time, you know. But they get enough to keep their belly, keep them alive. But that, you know, if you just want to catch fish and Krishna can give you a body that's good at it.
Thank you, Gurudev.
All right.
Please, we ask all devotees, unmute yourselves and let's chant Hare Krishna to Guru Maharaj for coming.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,